Well, good Wednesday evening to you. Chris Hare here, the multiple-time world champion crypto cowboy, bringing you another nightly update. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Some rumors flying around about Wintermute, maybe a lawsuit against Binance for all the liquidations. A lot of rumors floating around on X about that. We're going to talk about it a little bit, and we'll break it down. But we've had a pretty bloody day. Is it over? Are we getting close to a bottom? We're going to break it down tonight, and I've got some long-range targets for you later on in the show, so stick around for those. But we're going to start off like we do every night with the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, currently at a 27. Yesterday, we were all the way up to 36. Last week at 42. So we've came down quite a bit, but we've had a pretty nasty dump on the news of Wintermute and Binance. Apparently, Wintermute wants to sue Binance for the liquidations, or that's what the rumors were flying around. But I've got the information up here, and we'll get to it here in just a second. Moving on to the altcoin season index, I'm going to pair Bitcoin and Ethereum together tonight because it was relevant with the dump and with the news of Wintermute. So that's where we're at. So we're at a 25. Yesterday, we were at a 22. So we've came off of that just a little bit. Last week we were at a 28. What we need to see is get to like last month where we were at a 61, or even better, the way we went in December, all the way up to an 87. So right now Bitcoin's driving, it's in control. When Bitcoin goes up, alts go up. But when Bitcoin goes down, alts absolutely bleed. So that's where we're at tonight. Look at a liquidation heat map on the weekly, figure out where we are. This is how market makers draw the charts. They track your liquidity. They don't care where your liquidation points are. All they know is they want to get them. That's the manipulation behind what's going on in the charts. Everything above price action is a short trade. Everything below price action is a long trade. And you can see we've got a bright pocket of liquidity right here at about 108.5. And then some more up here at around 111.9. For the past day or so, they've just been going up and grabbing a little bit of liquidity, letting some build below, and then smashing it. So I'm not real confident in where we are here. You can see we've set in a lower high. That's never good. And the charts will show a head and shoulders pattern that's just on the edge of validating, but we'll get into that. But cumulatively, $313 billion worth of short trades to the bottom side, up to about 120,000. Down to about 101,000, we've got 574 million. So the imbalance is to the upside, but it doesn't seem to be playing that big. They're not running after these bigger pockets like they'd like to do a lot of times. We'll come back to Ethereum when we go over it, but here's the news. Wintermute CEO shut down rumors of a lawsuit today against Binance, calling the claims completely baseless. So earlier today, the rumors were floating around that losses over the October 10th crash wiped out 600 billion crypto in 30 minutes. And they were saying the rumors were that it was Binance's fault, so Wintermute was going to go after them for manipulation. We all know it happens. We all know it goes on, but apparently the rumors are false and it's not really going on. So it was just another reason for them to crash. But let's go on to the Bitcoin charts for tonight. We'll start off with the 4-hour. First thing I want to point out is we've got a really big head and shoulders pattern. And so what happens with these is if you measure from the top of the head to the bottom of the right shoulder and drag that line over to where you break out, it gives you a target of where that's going to go. Pretty good, a rough estimation. And you can see we're in our 4-hour retracement zone. We kind of lost it. We bounced back up, reclaimed it, and now we're just kind of waffling around, doing some retests, seeing what's happening. Not confident we break out of this at all. I mean, the trend is your friend, and the trend has been down for several days now. So we've got a lot of resistance to get up over. Right now, if we validate this head and shoulders target somewhere around 105.9 to 106,000, targets out all the way down to $96,000. That's in your 4-hour extension zone. And I feel like that's probably a pretty good spot. Our weekly 50 SMA simple moving average is at about 103,400. So that could provide some support as well. But you can see our 50 moving average on the 4-hour, that takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support and resistance. You can see we came up and tapped it on Sunday, and that's when everything started to go downhill. I rode a short all weekend, and this is why I hate trading on the weekends, because I shorted here, and you can see we just ended up right back in the same place we started. I actually got out of these on this pump. I thought maybe we were going to go up and go ahead and test out these 4-hour golden zones, but it was quickly rejected. I jumped into short here, and I've been in one all day. But taking out the bias, if we can get out of this 4-hour retracement zone, we have to get over the 50 smooth moving average, the 50 simple moving average. We have to get over the daily 50 smooth moving average and the 200, and then we finally get to the golden zone around 112 to 114. You can clear that 119 to 122. Like I said, I'm not optimistic on that right now, but we'll get out into the daily chart. Going to show you a little more. I've got that line drawn for the head and shoulders target at about 96,000. Falls right in with the 200 smooth moving average on the daily. So that takes 200 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, and works as another excellent support and resistance. You can see we're falling out of the daily zone, kind of trying to do a retest here. I think it's going to go ahead and fall out, and it's going to head down. Our weekly 50 simple moving average is at about 113. We've bounced off of this every single time during the bull run, but it doesn't look like we're going to this time. You can see we're falling out of this ascending pennant, and that's pretty concerning to me. I'm not sure where we go from here. If we lose that, you know, we're headed down to 98,000. There is an opportunity to go ahead and fall into this weekly golden zone around 94,000 to around 85,000. Your daily extensions are there. That may be a bounce point. And then the question is where we go from there. That will require me readjusting these Fibonacci's to get us a better location. But until we find some kind of bottom, if we lose this bottom here at about 102,000, I'll have to wait to update upside targets. We'll have to figure out where the bottom is, get a swing low in, and then we can go from there. But going out to the weekly, I'm still not convinced all hope isn't lost, although I am becoming a little more concerned than I was a week or two ago. You can see here we've lost the 382 Fibonacci, 106.9, and we're headed on down. Like I said, the 50 smooth or the 50 simple moving average sits at 103.6, and our weekly golden zone sits between 94 and 85,000. Our last line of hope is the weekly 50 smooth moving average sits at about 85,000. If we can bounce from there, we're still bullish, guys. And then we've still got time, and then we've got an opportunity to talk about more upside. If we lose this 50 smooth moving average on the weekly, I get a little more concerned. You do have a fair value gap down here at around 76,000, but I'm afraid if you lose 74.1, we're in bull market territory or bear market territory, and we're going to have a hard time climbing back up. That gives you a pretty good rundown on Bitcoin tonight. We'll go on up to the Ethereum liquidation heat map and see where we are. You can see we've got some bright pockets of liquidity down around 35.30. I think it's kind of the same song and dance with Bitcoin. You can tell there's a lot of short liquidations that are not here, and I think they're just coming up to the very edge of those. Maybe grab this liquidity at $3,700, $36.60 to $36.50. They may grab that, but then I think they come on down. But cumulatively, $2.3 billion worth of liquidations to the short side, but they seem like they're on up higher and they don't want to run to get them yet. To the downside, 469 million. So you can see the imbalance, but we'll get into the charts and we'll figure out exactly what's going on. Moving out to the Ethereum 4-hour, you can see Ethereum's also got a head and shoulders, and it has officially validated. It's below the dotted line here. I've got a line here drawn from where we broke out that targets $3,160. The thing about that target is we've talked about it over and over and over. I said that I felt like that was our bounce point, and it's looking even more like a bounce point. I don't think we break out of this 4-hour golden zone right now. There's a bearish fair value gap. Your 50 smooth moving average, your 50 simple moving average, your daily 50, and your 200 are all above us, so we're extremely bearish, guys. And like I said, the trend is your friend. We've been in a downturn since the flash crash, so we're still headed that way. But you can see we've lost that, so next targets are right there where we talked about. But moving out to the daily chart, it's going to give us a better idea. We've talked for about 2 weeks about our bounce point being somewhere around $3,250, and I think this kind of validates exactly what we've been thinking, that we're going to go ahead and head on down here. The 200 smooth moving average sits there. The top of your daily golden zone sits there. The bottom of the channel sits there. It just looks like a really good place for us to bounce. So that's where I'm at, taking the bias out. If we can cross this 50 moving average, we have to get over the 50 simple moving average and then break out of this channel. Then our next targets are 44.18 to 47.02, even higher, $5,500 to $6,100. Same thing goes with this. As long as we're above this swing low here, I'm happy. But you can see when I move the bottom side of this fib, those targets adjust just a little bit. So we'll just have to play this by ear. We'll play it day to day. I'll drop videos every day, just like I always do. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You'll get updates as soon as we upload a video. And then we get out into the weekly chart. You can still see that same bull flag that we've been in for the past 2 months. And we're coming on down. Weekly target, 3168. Bottom of the head and shoulders pattern, 3168. 50 smooth moving average, 3175. I feel like this is where we bounce, and then maybe we do go up and test out these upper targets, $5,200 to $7,100. But when we get there, we'll pull fibs. We'll find out exactly where we're going to go. So I hope that gives you a pretty good idea on what's going on tonight. News was clearly fake. It was a hoax. You saw it from the CEO. He said it's not real. So that's where we are with that. I think it's more FUD. And I think as we get closer and closer to a bottom, guys, keep in mind, you'll see more and more and more fear. If you weren't around back in December, January, February, when we had that horrible dump, there was always bad news. There was good news. We didn't move up. And then towards the bottom, right there around those $70,000 range, you know, that's $80,000 to $75,000 range, we got bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. They just kept piling it on. And then we were at the bottom. So we're going to watch this news, especially if we're getting more and more and more bad news. It's going to make me think that we're closer to a bottom than we realize. But I hope that gives you a good understanding. I post all of these charts in the Crypto School. You'll find the link to that in my description. You'll also find a link to BitUnix to get you some sweet deals and get you started on some trading. I think there's a cash back option when you first sign up and put in a new deposit. And you'll also find my link to my X. I post random updates throughout the day there as well. But I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. I've said enough already. I really appreciate you guys watching. But I am Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. And we'll see you down the road.